You want to expose them the best, you just have to use their own words to expose them. We have people across this country, it's amazing to me that this idea of gassing Jewish people, killing them, eradicating them, is popping back up. This is Nazi Germany that we are reliving all over again. You would think that you could admit that the people calling for that here in the United States are domestic terrorists. Can you admit that? Watch.
People in this country making violent anti-Semitic threats, are they domestic terrorists?
I don't know that we're classifying people as domestic terrorists for that. I mean, that's really a question better left to law enforcement. I'm not aware that there's been such a characterization of that.
But you'll call January 6th grandmothers and grandfathers who went for an unorganized tour of the Capitol domestic terrorists. Stinchfield's army out there, all of you, you're all domestic terrorists in the eyes of that clown. Just be honest. Of course, if you are calling for the gassing of Jews, you are a domestic terrorist, okay? But this breeds from the top. The fish rots from the head, right? Here's Karine Jean-Pierre. Nearly same question for Peter Doocy over at Fox.
Does President Biden think the anti-Israel protesters in this country are extremists?
What I can say is what we've been very clear about this. When it comes to anti-Semitism, there's no place. We have to make sure that we speak against it very loud and be very clear about that.
Speak against, what is with the word salad? What is with the beat around the bush? They're extremists, okay? You want to eradicate an entire group of people that practice a certain religion and you want them eradicated. I don't know how you get any more extreme than that. But this is what we're up against. So why would we be surprised at this? We talked about the U.S. funding all sides of these crazy situations around the world, funding our enemies while we're funding our allies. Remember, the Biden administration refuses to acknowledge that Iran plays a huge role funding Hamas, but apparently they have no problem leading us on to believe that the United States is funding Hamas. Watch.
Can you guarantee that U.S. taxpayer dollars weren't used in October 7th attack?
What I can guarantee is that we take every possible precaution to ensure that these resources are not diverted.
You see that? Antony Blinken, one of Biden's beta males. Again, they're basically acknowledging U.S. dollars were probably used for Hamas because that's what the United States does, especially under Joe Biden. Especially under Joe Biden, is fund our enemies. Do you know what we need? We need a leader. Quite frankly, I wish Benjamin Netanyahu was an American. If President Trump wasn't running for office, Benjamin Netanyahu may be my second choice. This is what we need. We need straight talk. Watch.
Calls for a ceasefire are calls for Israel to surrender to Hamas, to surrender to terrorism, to surrender to barbarism. That will not happen. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bible says that there is a time for peace and a time for war. This is a time for a war for our common future.
A common future across the globe. What Israel's doing is keeping all of us safe right now. That's the kind of leader that we need in Washington. We certainly don't have one of those right now.